we are going to deal more with some inequalities today. And now what we're going to do is take them and we are in them. Notice the word here says linear. Linear means lines. We have X and we have Y. We can make them into a graph by going back to this form, y equals plus b, what m is our slope, rise over run, and b is our y-intercept. So the first thing we want to do that is not already solved for y is solve for y. We'll get into that in a second. And then label, what is our slope? This one, what number is in front of x? 1. So if we, best to make it a fraction, make it 1 over 1. So we know our rise, we know our run. Our b, our y-intercept is 3. So to graph, we're going to do two things. Let's come back first. When we graph these on a number line, if it was this one, it was a circle. This one was, we filled it in. So when we're graphing them now, in terms of a line, if there's no line under it, it's going to be a dotted line. But if the line is under it, it should also equal that. So it's going to be a solid line. Okay. So if there's no line, it's dotted. If there's a line, it's solid. So the first thing we do is graph our slope and our y-intercept. We get 3 up 1 over 1. No line, so it's dotted. And then we have one last part. What we have is this says y is greater than x plus 3. So greater, does that mean above or below? You think it's above. So the last thing we do, we're going to either draw a solid or dotted line, but then we're going to shade one side or the other. And this says it's greater than, so greater is above. So we're going to shade this part. So that's our answer. Because what this says is it could be anything out here. Anything out here would make a true statement. So if we put in, let's say that's 6, 0. 6 is greater than 0 plus 3. 6 is greater than 3. Is that a true statement? So anything we choose out here, if we put in those x and y, it would make it true. Whereas if we put this one, it's 0, 0. 0 is greater than 0 plus 3. 0 is greater than 3. That is false. So down here, nothing here would work. But everything up here would work. Okay, so let's take another basic. Oh no, let's take where we've got to solve for y. We'll do a couple of those. So we have 3x minus 2y greater than or equal to negative 4. So remember, we want to get y by itself. So the first thing we have to do is move our x across. Since it's positive x, we're going to subtract off 3x. So we rewrite negative 2y greater than negative 3x. Put it in order, so x is first, because then it just lines up with our y equals mx plus b. We don't have y yet. That should be minus 4. We don't have y by itself, so we need to get rid of multiplying by negative 2. How do we get rid of multiplying by negative 2? Divide by negative 2 to every single part. So then that cancels. Negative and negative is 3 halves, positive. Positive 2. We divided by a negative, so you've got to flip the sign. So now we have our slope is 3 halves. Our b is positive 2. We can graph. 1, 2, 3, up 3 over 2. So rise 3 over 2. We have the line underneath, so it's going to be solid. Okay. Now the last part is we have to shade. It says less than. Less than is going to be below. Okay. Makes sense. All right. Let's do another where we are solving for y first. Maybe. Okay, so it won't always be set up the same way, but the key is we need y by itself. It's easiest to leave it on the left. We don't have to leave it on the left. That's just the easiest way. That looks just like this. So if we want to get this 3y by itself, we need to get rid of this minus 1. Plus 1 under our constant terms. So 3y greater than 2x plus 8. All right. Make sure I wrote that down. Nope. That gives us nicer numbers, so that gives us negative 6. Divide by 3. Y, that was positive, so we do not flip our sign. 2/3 x minus 2. So m, what is our slope? 2/3. B equals negative 2. So our y-intercept is negative 2. Rise 2, run 3. Whoops. I forgot the B first. Start with B. Sorry about that. Rise 2, run 3. Yeah. So now we have solid or dotted. No line, so it's dotted. And it is greater than, so it's the portion up here. Okay. So I would suggest graph paper. I mean, you can do all of your work on that graph paper. That way the graph is easier though. All right, so basically this is how you're going to graph it. Shade in one side or the other. The shading doesn't have to be perfect as long as we know which side you're working on. So page 492. Let's do 5 through 23 odd. 5 to 23 odd on 492, 5 to 23 odd.